Chapter 1 Bottom Barn Kids. You are listening at FameTV.info. In 1494 in the lunar calendar of the sea next to an uninhabited island near the North Sea, the sun was setting and night was falling, and an armed merchant ship was slowly lowering its sails. Although the North Sea is not a great route full of dangers, sea beasts of more than 10 meters are not uncommon. Therefore, the ship stopped by the small island early and waited until the next day to continue sailing. Wake up, Don / sleep. Being swayed from side to side with his arms around his shoulders, the child lying on the floor slowly opened his eyes. The surrounding area was dark, small and humid, the air was mixed with a lot of strange smells, and at the same time it was constantly rising and falling. A few rays of light are revealed from the gap above the head. The little boy who had just opened his eyes could barely discern a figure beside him. Hungry, give, as a piece of fruit was handed over. A terrifying hunger immediately rose in the stomach of the lying little boy. The stomach and intestines seemed to be squeezed together by a pair of big hands, frantically trying to squeeze something out of it, but there is only nothing. Grasp. The little boy lying on the ground didn't know where the strength came from. He sat up suddenly, grabbed the fruit handed over to him, and bit down hard without even caring about the weird patterns. Damn it, it so unpalatable. A disgusting feeling came from the taste buds, and the idea of eat shit instinctively appeared in the little boy mind. But, bite and swallow, without the slightest pause, he swallowed the fruit in his hand, including the belt core. In a few mouthfuls, there was a burst of warmth from the stomach that had not been filled for a long time, and the little boy who had just woken up let out a long breath. Thanks, by the way, where is he? And also, turning his head and looking to the side, the one who handed him the fruit was a 10-year-old boy, with short blonde hair like weeds, and a tattered suit full of stains, but even in this small cabin, he still carried wearing a pair of sunglasses. If this was his last stubbornness, cabin. How do I know this is a cabin? You Don remember me? The boy wearing sunglasses frowned, and a natural violent breath emerged spontaneously, but in just a moment, the boy relaxed and shook his head. It doesn't matter if you Don remember. I heard that after being strongly stimulated. You just need to remember. I am Don Quixote da Flamingo, you are Don Quixote Rosindi, we are brothers. After finishing speaking, the boy leaned back on the wet cabin and waved his hands in a weak way. Don think too much, eat and sleep. When we arrive in Bahia, we will establish our own Don Quixote family. What Don Quixote da Flamingo? What Don Quixote Rosindi? That not from the manga One Piece. There was a tingling pain in his mind, which interrupted the little boy thoughts, and then scenes flashed. Are you serious? Old Sage Huaming. Abandoning the identity of A to become immortal. A group of people wearing fish bowls looked in horror at the men and women in front of them and the two children behind them. We only human faced with the middle-aged man natural answer. The heads of the fish tank seemed to have heard the declaration of the end of the world, and the panic, anger, and hatred in their eyes were undisguised. This is blasphemy and must die. A family of 4 who gave up their status as Tianlong people, came to live in a non-member country, in the north, planning to live a peaceful life. But what awaits them is, where are the celestial dragons? Don't let them get away, search. When the identities of the 4 Tianlongren were leaked, countless crazy civilians swarmed in, their swords and guns full of malice. This was followed by endless hunting, beatings, picking up food from the trash, being hung in the fire and burning. If it hadn't been for the awakened domineering color that stunned the crazy crowd, the family of 3 would have been burned to death. Got coke, it was all your fault. Pointing a pistol at his father, a little blonde boy in sunglasses roars, I will use your head to take back everything that belongs to us. The memories came to an abrupt end. In the cabin, the little boy who had just eaten a strange fruit tilted his head and looked at the boy beside him, who closed his eyes and rested his mind, but his stomach was making rumbling noises. Although he is only a child, his brows already have the demeanor of a future hero Doflamingo, the heavenly dragon man who has awakened the domineering look that I in the Tokushima story, in the future. The big villain boss who was overturned by the protagonist group. So, did I really travel to the world of One Piece? The little Dover, in front of him and the memory in his mind made the dazed little boy have to believe that he had already crossed. This who is not good to time travel, but why time travel to Don Quixote Rocinante although Rocinante Doflamingo S brother, but later joined the navy, and as an undercover lurking to the side of Doflamingo, who became a great pirate that in the end, in order to save Trafalgar Law, he died under the gun of Doflamingo. But now that the soul has been replaced by a celestial traveler, such a future will naturally cease to exist. So, let S take a look at, since the Don Quixote family has not yet been established. Does it mean that there are still more than 20 years before the story begins? The big pirate time hasn't T even started, and I don't T know if Roger has reached Ralph Drew, hey, sigh, traveler. In other words, Rocinante recalled the previous memories, with mixed feelings in his heart. Fingers caressed the tattered clothes on his body, and the skin under the cloth was covered with countless old and new scars, all of which came from those civilians who shouted justice. This reminded Rocinante of a sentence inexplicably. If you had a childhood like mine, you might not be half as gentle as me. What happened between Edof and myself it s not normal not to take revenge on the world when you grow up, right? At least Rocinante will not forgive those who have hurt him. Why aren't tu sleeping? Noticing Rocinante s gaze, Dover who was beside him turned his head. There is no food left. I hid this fruit secretly when I went ashore to help with work today. Gulyalu, his stomach hummed again in disbelief, causing Dover, who was wearing sunglasses, to grit his teeth in displeasure, and then tighten the cloth strip that went through his trousers again. Don T look at me, I V already eaten. Feel sorry, while Dover, who was wearing sunglasses, frowned. Rocinante, who had just eaten the fruit, looked apologetic. The apology wasn't T just for the fact that he had just eaten both of their food, but also the fact that he had replaced the other brother. Dover, is it evening now, right? While Dover was answering, the two memories in Rocinante s mind had been merged, which gave him a clearer understanding of his situation. Half a year ago, Dover took the head of their dad to the Holy Land, but was kicked out by the Tianlong people. Angry and helpless, Dover could only flee to the North Sea with Rocinante by boat. Because Dover inadvertently knew a big secret about the Dragon Man in the Holy Land, and was being hunted down, and there is the rumored Vinsmoke family in the North Sea, which belongs to a sea area where the world government is relatively weak. 2 Helpless children, wanting to take this boat, naturally need to pay a price. The older Dover needs to work from morning to night every day, in exchange for a piece of moldy bread, and Rocinante spent most of his time in the warehouse at the bottom of the ship. On the one hand, it is to save consumption, and on the other hand, it is also to protect their strength a flintlock gun. Without this weapon, the two children would have been sold to slave traders long ago. Facing the two children who made a gesture of dead fish and broken net, the captain of this ship expressed his willingness to take them for a ride, provided that they can survive to the North Sea. For the food problem, I will find a solution. After thinking clearly about the cause and effect, Rocinante stood up. What? Can you have someone? In the next moment, there was dead silence in this small cabin. While opening and closing his mouth, even with sunglasses on, he could still see the shocked expression on Dover s face. Even the never-ending sound of the waves in my ears disappeared without a trace. This is my ability. What you gave me just now was a devil fruit. Devil fruit. As a former celestial dragon, even at the age of 10, Doflamingo knew about the devil fruit. After all, it is only something that can be bought with a mere 1 billion When I lived in the Holy Land, I often heard that other Tianlong people used to feed devil fruits to slaves for fun. That /s right, the fruit of silence is the name of the fruit I ate just now. I thought it was just a weird fruit. The creatures in this world are all kinds of weird and strange, and the fruits also grow very randomly, so when Dover picked up that fruit, he didn't /t associate it with the devil fruit at all. Then what are your abilities? It is rumored that the devil fruit will give people all kinds of strange abilities, so that an ordinary person can defeat elite soldiers. Thinking of this, Dover became excited. For the two of them right now, any improvement in strength is crucial. Then you may be disappointed. Rosindi smiled wryly and spread her hands. The fruit of silence, the ability is just like the name, it can make a certain area around it /silent /. This fruit that has almost no intuitive improvement in combat effectiveness. Among the star-studded devil fruits, it is estimated that it is slightly more useful than the human fruit common people form eaten by a certain blue-nosed reindeer in the future. At least it doesn't /t have much impact on the current situation of Rosindi in Dover. But it /s perfect for stealing. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.